of the voiceless.
Pleasant afternoon. Welcome to the World News on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Here are the top stories. Senate President unveil President Tinubu's 28-man ministerial nominees list. Court strikes out DSS suit seeking to keep Emefiele in detention. Ogun Assembly receives commissioner nominee list from Governor Abiodun. In business, World Bank urges federal government to reduce borrowing from CBN. On the foreign scene, U.S. President Joe Biden announces mayor to tackle extreme heat. And in sport, Super Falcons top World Cup group after beating Australia. Details of these and more coming up shortly. Welcome back. Now the news in details. I am OLUWAFISAYOMI, AJIBOLA. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, on Thursday unveiled the much-anticipated ministerial list by President Bola Tinubu. The Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, presented the list before the lawmakers at their sitting. Notable names on the list include 4 immediate past governors, Nyesom Wike, Nasir El-Rufai, David Umahi, and Abubakar Baduru. Meanwhile, the Senate will on Monday commence the screening of the ministerial nominees submitted to it by President Bola Tinubu on Thursday. Speaking shortly after the names of the 28 nominees were read on the floor by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, the Senate spokesperson Yemi Adaramodu said the upper chamber had suspended all its activity to commence the screening immediately. In a related development, the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, said Nigerians should expect the naming of new ministries as President unveils another list of 13 ministerial nominees in the coming days. Gbajabiamila stated this while addressing State House correspondents hours after he submitted the ministerial list to the Senate. He explained that the names were sent to the Senate without specific portfolios attached to give the President enough flexibility to decide who handles what portfolio. Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas has announced the name of lawmakers who will chair 134 standing committees in the Green Chamber. Abbas unveiled the names of the committee chairpersons and their deputies on the floor of the House on Thursday. Some of the lawmakers who made the list as chairpersons of committees are James Faleke, Finance, Mukhtar Matara, FCT, Aki Alabi, Works, Bamidele Salami, Public Accounts, Idris Wase, Federal Character, Leke Abejide, Customs, and Jimmy Benson, Defense. Others are Ahmed Satomi, National Security, Yusuf Gadi, Navy, Halazan Doguwa, Petroleum Resources Upstream, Sadi Soli, Water Resources, and Wole Oke, Judiciary. Abbas said the selection teams relied on capacity and competence in assigning members to the committees. The Federal Capital Territory High Court has dismissed a request filed by the Department of State Services (DSS) seeking a 14-day extended detention order for the suspended Central Bank Governor, Godwin Emefiele. The DSS based its applications on purported new evidence it had discovered. Ruling on the matter, Justice Amzad Moazu dismissed the application, citing it as an abuse of court process and for lack of jurisdiction. Former Kano State Governor Abdullahi Ganduje on Thursday said he will reform the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC) in line with the current realities. Ganduje stated this in Abuja while playing host to members of the National Integrated Movement and the APC support group ahead of the official announcement of his appointment as the party's national chairman. He also expressed his disappointment with the resignation of Saliu Lukman as the national vice chairman Northwest of the party. According to the former governor, internal democracy, wide consultation, as well as making the party functional throughout the year would be an area he would focus on. Speaker of the Ogun State House of Assembly, OLUWAFISAYOMI, has confirmed the receipt of the list of commissioner nominees from Governor Dapo Abiodun. According to a release by the clerk, head of legislative services, Deji Adeyemo, the speaker received the governor's letter dated 27th of July 2023. The speaker would announce the names on the list to the lawmakers at the next plenary day slated for Tuesday, August 1st. The Ogun State Election Petition Tribunal on Thursday admitted in evidence over 150,000 ballot papers used for the March 18 governorship election in the state. A forensic examiner and retired Deputy Superintendent of Police, Regina Nwoze, who presented the ballot papers, said they were sourced from HINEC. Breaking down the ballot papers, Nwoze said 37,000 were with multiple term prints, more than 3,000 were smudged and smeared, and 109,000 were with regular term prints. Showing the court his findings, Nwoze alleged that some of the ballot papers whose votes were cast in favor of APC were marked with markers instead of being thumb printed. Also admitted in evidence was a piece of video evidence tendered by a star witness for the People's Democratic Party, Sukanmi Oyejide. You are listening to the world news on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Still to come after this break, business, foreign and sport. Do stay with us. Welcome back to the rest of the news. In business, the World Bank Group has urged Nigeria to reduce government borrowing from the central bank if it wants to reduce the inflationary pressure on the economy. World Bank's lead economics for Nigeria, Alex Sinat, stated this on Thursday during an economic review section at the Lagos Business School. In his keynote presentation, Sinat commended the government over its recent economic reforms, but noted that these reforms would have to be sustained for the economy to recover from present shocks and record considerable growth in the near future. He added that a variety of solutions would have been devised in order to mobilize more revenue in a way that spending will be increased to tackle the real priorities in the country. On the foreign scene, supporters of a coup in Niger has attacked the headquarters of the ousted president party, setting it on fire and stoning and burning cars outside. The small group of actionists had broken away from a larger show of support for the coup leader outside parliament where Russian flags were on show. The army has now given its backing to the troops who took President Mohamed Bazoum captive on Wednesday. Still on foreign news, U.S. President Joe Biden has announced measures to try to tackle the effect of extreme heat as 46 million Americans suffered under heat advisories. Major cities include Boston, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. were under heat emergencies on Thursday. Speaking during a press conference at the White House on Thursday, Biden unveiled new measures designed to help workers most vulnerable to heat, increase funding for weather forecasting, and expand water storage capacity in the western states. In the world of sports, The Super Falcons of Nigeria are top of their Group B in the ongoing World Cup after beating co-host Australia. The Nigerian girls defeated Australia 3-2. Goals from Uchenna Kanu, Osinachi Ohale, and Asisa Doshoala cancelled out Emily Van Emonde's opener and Kennedy's late strike in entertaining encounter. AC Milan new signing Samuel Chukwueze says fans of the Italian Serie A were instrumental in his decision to join the club. The Super Eagles winger completed his move from Villarreal on Thursday. The 24-year-old signed a 5-year contract that will run till 2028 with the Rossoneri. He will wear jersey number 21. That was the world news on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. But before I go, a quick recap of the headlines. We did tell you that the Senate President has unveiled President Tinubu's 28-man ministerial nominees list. Court strike out DSS suit seeking to keep Emefiele in detention. In Ogun State, we did tell you that the Assembly has received Commissioner's nominee list from Governor Dapo Abiodun. And in business, World Bank urges federal government to reduce borrowing from CBN. And on the foreign scene, Joe Biden announces measures to tackle extreme heat. And in sports, Super Falcons top World Cup group after beating Australia. For more of these updates, you can join us on www.aliyamoyetvradio.com. Also join us on all our social media handle with the handle at AJIBOLA. Thanks for being part of our news this lovely afternoon. I remain OLUWAFISAYOMI, AJIBOLA. Good afternoon and enjoy your weekend.